Marvel Comics' X-Men suite of titles was recently invigorated thanks to the mutant paradise known as Krakoa that the X-Men built as a place to call home. However, after several foreign invaders managed to destroy the X-Men's paradise, it's time for the mutants to scatter across the globe and find a new way to conduct themselves. Today it's time to go ahead and preview the first issue of NYX, the brand new home for Ms. Marvel in the wake of a shattered Krakoa. My name is Arako Braddock, and today let's go ahead and pick up the pieces over with Kamala Khan in the pages of NYX issue 1. Before we get deeper into the video, I want to encourage you to consider subscribing to the channel. This is NYX. This isn't a book about the X-Men. This is a book about mutants living past the end of their world and into a new beginning. This is Ms. Marvel embracing her mutant life in the neon streets of the Lower East Side. This is ANOLE trying to keep his head above water. This is Wolverine in the shadows of Bushwick protecting her own. This is Prodigy writing history as it happens, and SOPHIE CUCKOO finding her own way. The news reports are bleak. The streets still feel dangerous. There's something lurking underground. Evil is coming in from every direction, but they're determined to make it. This is mutant community. This is mutant pride. And this is NYX. So NYX issue 1 is still written over from Collin, Kelly, and Jackson Lanzing. We have artwork from Francesco Mortarino, colors coming in from Raul Angulo, and letters from VC's Joe Sabino. In addition here, the design on the issue is still rendered over from Jay Bowen, and we have a gorgeous cover coming in over from Sara Pichelli and Federico Blee. Really loving how the cover on this issue of NYX is able to preview the really interesting cast making up the issue. We have Prodigy, ANOLE, Wolverine as Laura Kinney, SOPHIE CUCKOO, and Ms. Marvel Kamala Khan herself. Also want to extend a big thank you to Adventures in Poor Taste and preview just the gorgeous and expressive and visually dynamic artwork coming in over from series artist Francesco Mortarino. I was really taken from a spread early in the issue establishing some of the mutant powers for Kamala and showing just how she's able to outstretch some of her limbs in ways that are super visually interesting when approached here on the page. I think also right from the get-go here, Collin, Kelly, and Jackson Lanzing do a wonderful job establishing so much of the backstory for Kamala Khan. So many of her cast members that were present in the Iman Vellani and Sabra Perzada run are still here, as well as characters in Kamala's home life like Bruno. So it looks like Bruno is currently on a semester in Amsterdam, which awakens Kamala Khan over to another tenure over at Empire State University. Also, I'm loving some of the bleeds over from Francesco Mortarino depicting Kamala's hair and visual identity in a super arresting way on the page. Over on this next page here, we get a glimpse of Kamala Khan trying to manage her school life over at Empire State University, her relationship with Bruno, as well as her superhero career in a super interesting way. I think the urban aesthetic and visual design of NYX does a great job matching what both Kelly and Lanzing are bringing aboard the script here as well. Now this next page finally starts to bring in some of the elements of Krakoa towards NYX's debut here, with the character of SOPHIE CUCKOO really striking up a surprise friendship over with Kamala. I think Kelly and Lanzing do a great job implementing the sinister dialogue with SOPHIE CUCKOO while finding some of the character traits that she has in common with Kamala Khan as a superhero. One of my favorite things about NYX as a comic book series is how it seamlessly introduces so many of the cast members of the comic book in really casual settings. The way that readers get to preview ANOLE as a bartender trying to serve up Sophie's special drink is just a great way to naturally fit this character into the narrative without having anything seem too forced within some of these pages here. Also, watching Sophie really sort of establish her relationship with ANOLE as the issue progresses here was a great way to watch these two individual characters interact And this was also a really nice segue to return to Kamala Khan's superhero identity that we also previewed much earlier within the scope of the comic book narrative. Another really interesting aspect about NYX is how tied in it is with the rest of the X-Men's Krakoa line of comic books. In addition to having the Krakoa class at Empire State University, there's also a mysterious villain introduced within the comic book known as the Krakoan. I was really interested to see NYX actually reveal the identity of this mysterious character, and I'm glad that we don't have this dangling as an additional subplot and mystery to hold over readers' heads as we get deeper into the runtime here. Also, getting to see so many of the villains start springing up across the comic book series in both the final page and the post-credits tease was such a great way to turn up the stakes within the narrative. Also, I really found that some of Kamala's interactions with Laura Kinney were incredibly deadly and opened up a much different character dynamic than we've seen her with characters like SOPHIE CUCKOO or ANOLE earlier in the comic book tale. Overall here, I'm really happy that Lanzing and Kelly have established so much characterization for their core cast members across NYX, and I already think there's been some really interesting plot threads opened up for nearly every single aspect of this team. So at the end of the day here, I really think NYX Chapter 1 is a really special comic book that does a great job finding natural ways for so many of our characters to get introduced. Plus, I'm really respecting just how ambitious NYX is as a comic book, in addition to trying to characterize and open up some brand new subplots for heroes like ANOLE and PRODIGY. This issue is also trying to set up their villains in the next couple years of the From the Ashes storytelling. Also, the QR code hit a really fascinating page as well that teased yet another villain that could be joining some of their ranks. But I want to know, what were some of your thoughts over on NYX Chapter 1? Did you like some of the brand new character dynamics and relationships that were set up between Lanzing and Kelly? Also, what were some of your thoughts in Francesco Mortarino's beautiful art previewing some really interesting and exaggerated limbs over for Kamala Khan? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you so much for checking out our video review over for NYX Issue 1, and we'll be back to see where this series develops as soon as it's released. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon.